man can fall in love with a man, a woman can fall in love with a woman. There's nothing anybody can do about it. It's not in the province of the law. It's nothing you do with the church. And if you lie about that, you lie about everything.
As your president, I will do everything in my power to protect our LGBTQ citizens from the violence and oppression of a hateful foreign ideology. Believe me.
You have to know that the brute, the bigot, and the batterer are all children of God, whether they know it or not. And I'm supposed to treat them accordingly.
Welcome to another lit episode of Candid Culture, where we are speaking candidly about your culture, our culture, their culture. Today, as I promised, we're going to have a conversation in regards to the mental health and what that looks like in our community. It's going to be a conversation that may make you cry. It may be a conversation that may make you upset and angry. It may be a conversation that may make you feel like you better than everybody. But it's going to be a conversation that needs to be had. So join us while we have this conversation. We have the same guest, because who else would I have to have this conversation with other than Nigel? Looking so, you be looking cute, girl.
You know, I try to keep it simple.
You gonna tell us what this outfit from?
I will not.
All right, girl. And then we got Rakeem over here, looking cute too. You gonna tell me when you got your outfit from? Or you too bougie?
I got it from Nordstrom.
Y'all ready to have this conversation?
I am. I'm ready.
Y'all sure?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I cry, y'all gonna help me?
No, don't cry.
Disrespectful. So stay tuned while we talk. And again, I ask you that you prepare yourself and join the conversation. Stay tuned. Hey guys, so the conversation that we're going to have today, again, is going to be about mental health and kind of what that looks like in our community. I believe that as we all have heard over the past few months and really a few past years, mental health has been a topic of conversation. And it's now starting to be prevalent in some way or popular again. But I think what's missing from that conversation is the us, meaning the LGBT community, and what mental health looks like for us, because it does greatly affect us. And so I just want to open the floor to either one of you to either talk about exactly how you see that in our community, and what that looks like in our community.
Well, to me, mental health is like, it falls under a lot of things. Like, it could be like from your like low self-esteem and things like that. Because a lot of people have inner issues that they don't acknowledge within the gay community, period. That's why, you know, you do certain things or you date certain people sometimes, you know, because like their mental health. But I think everybody take it as a joke. I mean, a lot of people don't think it's really that serious. We don't really talk about it that much. Everybody think everybody think they don't need help. And in real life, you really do.
Right.
I used to have a real low self-esteem, like real bad, like bad. I feel like I worked with it on my own, because you know, that's the way we do it these ways. But you know, for other people, like it's really, really hard, and it's really something that needs to be talked about.
Yeah, I think that it comes almost not stems from, but a big part of it is social media. The fact that we are always projecting out into the world our perfect selves and our perfect images of ourselves, you know, the vacation or the quote unquote happy relationships, that we've made it unpopular to talk about, you know, the things that we are dealing with deep down inside, because all we are putting out there is the positivity or so to speak, the image of positivity. So no one's talking about or showing the weaknesses, and it's just not cool. So
It's because like in reality, I was raised in a home where what happens in this house stays in this house. So everybody don't want you to see the negative side of their life. Everybody want you to see their downfalls. They just want to see the, you know, like them coming up. I can't say it's social media like really big, like it's a big part of it. I don't think it is. It's something like that you dealing with along school. Like when I was coming up, social media, it was coming up, but it wasn't that big. But kids at school, they had a lot to play in like your mental health. They don't know, like bullying and stuff like that. People don't acknowledge things like that I feel like should be acknowledged.
I agree with both points. Literally, because I feel like the genesis of mental health for me would have to be just the overall structure of the family and the level of acceptance, excuse me, that you felt from your immediate family. Because yeah, y'all know I'm a church boy. The Bible says that charity starts at home and then spreads abroad. So when you think about that, it kind of the genesis or the beginning of the situation, it would be in regards to how did you feel accepted from your parents, grandma, auntie, brother, sister. For me, I was a middle child. I don't know if y'all know about middle child syndrome, but it's real. It's real. And so I had an older sister who was more closer to my mom, and then I had a brother who was more manly, I guess you can say. So he naturally attached to my father. Right. So I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything outside of just the church. And the church is where I predominantly at that point was women. And so for me, I grew accustomed to that because that's where I found my place of safety. But like you said, even then going to school, because I was in the ecosystem of church, when I then went to school where it was then people who didn't go to church sometimes, I was then made to feel less than or awkward because I don't act or sound like you. Right. And so I feel for me, after that, going past that, and then growing up, and then social media, child, because this ain't a size 2 frame. So then you got a big girl right here. Y'all probably don't see it, but it's a big girl right here. So then you looking on social media and seeing what's actually being sought after. And then I'm like, well, dang, my DMs ain't dry, but it's close. And it starts.
No, your DM catch body.
So as far as it starts at home?
It does.
I agree too. Like, I didn't grow up with my brothers and sisters like initially. I didn't move into with my mom until I was like 14 years old. I stayed with my godparents. That's who like raised me. So I do understand what you're saying like that. And then me and my dad don't have a relationship still to this day. Like I know who he is, but we don't have a relationship at all.
Right.
So I do definitely think it's the acceptance of your family, and that has a big toll. That takes a big toll on you. Like
I agree with you guys because growing up, one thing I would hear my the older generation of my family say around the conversation surrounded by gay, when the conversation had anything to do with someone in the family being gay, I remember one of my aunts saying, "Oh, if my son was gay, oh no, I wouldn't accept that." So just me listening and observing, because you never know who's listening. And me as a child being maybe 7 or 8 years old, being like, and I knew these feelings I already had, but to hear that, now that's made me more mutable. Oh, I know who not to talk to. My family doesn't seem to be very accepting of it just from hearing little comments. But as you grow older, I think that a lot of the times we do realize that maybe we could have opened up to those same people who said those hateful things because, and I'll probably reference this later, is what you hate will live in your home. And as much as you may hate a gay person or you think you hate that, until it hits home and your son or your nephew is gay and you're like, oh my God, I love that person. They just so happen to be gay now that I'm learning it. So I think, if we just, once it comes around, if I can wrap it up, once it comes back around, your family really do love you. And then you feel that sense of love that you should have felt as a young person. But
then even with that,
it's time. Growth.
It is.
My upbringing was not nothing like that. It's sweet if you thought you wanted to talk about it, but you better shut the hell up about talking about it. You better think about something else. If you like it, you better figure out how you're gonna like something else. That's how it was in my house. It was the thought of me. I couldn't even have a conversation. The thought of me being gay to my mom was not like a good. It was not good at all.
And I'm glad you brought that part up because I was going to hit something similar to that, is when we expect for someone to, I agree with you, have that conversation, sometimes it's not a place or an opportunity for us to even feel that comfortable to say, hey, when you say this bothers me. Right. And some of us don't even have the tools to even do that. And I don't have that same similar situation, but my immediate family, I never even had a coming out story. I just came out and it's not in the conversation. It wasn't until the origination of this show where I happened to call and said, hey, did I ever come out to y'all? No, it was just like, oh, you just did it.
I never came out either.
Yeah, so it was like never a thing.
Right.
And so,
I just lived my life.
but I grew up, however, we didn't speak to each other about that. So it was kind of, we had surface relationships. We were close, but when you dig in, we really weren't that close. It was just really just this, we're family, we're family, that's the extent of it. And so I really feel like sometimes conversation is good, but if you notice, if that conversation is not had, then you have a gay person who then grows up with resentment, with anger issues, with frustration, all of that stuff. And then that then shows up in how they deal with relationships from friends to boyfriends, girlfriends, if you will. That shows up. And so it really, 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 really needs to be talked about. Yeah. So with mental health, so we spoke about how it looks and where it could possibly stem from. Let's speak about a specific place where you see sometimes where mental health issues are happening. What I mean is social media. Nigel brought up in regards. So do we see some symptoms of mental health issues displayed to us online or any other place that you can think of?
I'm going to almost say, and I could change this later, but I'm going to say no. And because I've known two people within the last 6 months who've taken their own lives. And I went back and looked at their Instagram and saw pictures they posted like the day before or the week before, and they're out with their friends, and they just look like the happiest people in the world. So I look at that picture from a day ago or a week ago and like, wow, this person hung themselves from a rope. And and I just sometimes you don't know. So what do we ask? Do we hey, is everything okay? Do we try to, how do you open up that genuine conversation? Because sometimes honestly I don't know that the signs are always there.
Yeah, see, I agree too, because you don't always see the signs. Because I've seen some of the happiest people and like the most outgoing people, and you're like, it's okay, you just think like they just always giddy up and always like the most lit people, but then they killing themselves or something like that, something happens. So I don't think the signs are there. I think like sometimes people just don't talk about certain things and they just keep certain things in.
But so here's my question, because I would agree with y'all maybe 25%, but then 75% of me then says, what level of communication do you have with let's say if these people were close to you, or even if they were not close to you, what level of communication is being had with that person? So is it a surface level type of friendship to where all we talk about is going to the club, all we talk about is men, all we talk about are things that make me happy or either are security blankets for me? So if you're talking about that, of course I'm not going to open up to you about something that's near and dear and personal to me, that I may be thinking about possibly suicide or possibly hurting myself or something like that. What level of communication are we actually having as being friends or just acquaintances or connected to someone?
Right.
Well, my part, the people that killed themselves in my life, we weren't really friends. It was like cordial, like, oh, how you doing? Like walk past you, like go out really talk to you type of ordeal. So I never,
But I'm speaking in general. So not if of course I apologize if it was something that happened personally, but I'm speaking of in general. So if we think about just a few even celebrities who have committed suicide, and like Nigel said, who have seemed to the world normal, because again we have to remember, if they look happy or normal to us, 9 times out of 10, that's their only safe place where they feel like, okay, here I feel covered. So what I'm asking, do we think that conversation is truly, or relationship building is truly happening honestly?
Sometimes I honestly think so. You can't, like I was talking about that last night. I can't guess what you feel. That's just like, it's like me going on a date with you and then not setting expectations of when I date you, so we're going to jump to the relationship, but we don't know. Right. You don't know what I want, I don't know what you want, but we're in this relationship and we just dating. I don't know what you want. You have to talk to me. You have to speak up. If you are going through something, you have to talk to people. Like, that's just the way it goes. If you're not talking about what you're going through with anybody, we can't play the guessing game either. If you want something solved, you have to be a dog. Speak on it and just do it.
I think that a lot of the relationships we build are surface level. And I speak from experience because I don't get very close to a lot of people.
Fort Knox.
I think that I'll sit back and I'll observe the type of person you are before I decide whether or not I'm going to have those deeper conversations. And usually I'm not the one to bring the conversation up. And that's something Antonio can speak from experience is, you probably got to ask me questions to really determine probing questions to figure out how I feel about something. And if I would put my personal experience out there. And this happened this past summer. I was at a pool party and had a really good time. I went by myself, met some cool people there in Atlanta. Had a really good time. And then out of nowhere, I just felt like extreme sadness. So I left and I told everyone goodbye and I left and I went home. And I had some thoughts. So I consider myself a mentally strong person, but I don't really get close enough to people to have those conversations. At that moment, I was like, who can I call? That was really, that was my thought process is who can I call? I called my sister, my mother. My sister didn't answer the first time. My mother answered afterwards, but I called my ex because he lived right around the corner. Not that I wanted to talk to him, but because I didn't want to take my own life. And he was on his way over. My sister came over. So it was just, what to me was just so shocking. And we sat on the balcony and spoke. My sister said, do you know why you feel this way? And I didn't have an answer. And she let me know that that's okay. You don't need to have an answer. You feel this. You feel this extreme, sadness or so she made that okay. They took me back to her house that night and I stayed over there for the weekend with my family. So they created and made sure I had that support system right then and there. And it was probably, I can't fault them for not asking the questions beforehand because if I never called them or they never answered, who knows?
Yeah,
but
you spoke up.
Right, but I realized that I'm in a place of extreme weakness on this night and I needed to reach out.
Well, let's say this. The fact that I'm happy, girl, you maybe hold on. I'm happy that you decided to make that phone call. And that says great strength to you. And I really, 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 really do want to take the moment to anybody who has thoughts like this or is currently having thoughts like this. Please, 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 please muster up as much strength that you possibly can to reach out to somebody. Understand that you are important to someone. It may not feel like that, and you don't know me, and I don't know you, but understand your life is super important. Someone's next move or next level in their life is connected to you. So please, please, please reach out to somebody. I am super, 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 super glad that you are here because then who else was I gonna be beat with? And who else was gonna it's things like that, and hearing that then helps me to understand what you're saying in regards to opening up and having conversations and kind of stepping out of yourself. That does, however, it takes a lot of strength. And we just have to make sure that in our relationships, friendships, anything, that we still foster that open communication. But really quickly, y'all, because this is getting a little emotional for me, we're going to have to go ahead and take a break. I ask that you all stay tuned. It's going to get a little deeper. Some more tissue going to need to be had. Stay tuned. Welcome back, guys. So I hope that you all are refreshed and revived and rejuvenated after that break. We're still having a conversation about mental health. And again, I cannot express how important it is for this conversation to be had because it literally is as close. It could be as close as your really close friend and you don't know what's happening. So this conversation needs to be had. So I'm hoping that y'all are all paying attention. So we already spoke about exactly, again, how mental health kind of begins in our community. We kind of also kind of dealt with making sure that that line of communication is open on both ends. Right. To the person who may be having issues, but also making sure that we have just that openness to that friendship or relationship to where we feel comfortable having that conversation. Now, I want to have a conversation in regards to what that currently looks like. And what I mean by that is Nigel, when he was sharing his story, the first thing he was making reference to was, who can I call? Um, and I tell people all the time, I'm a very strong person. And one of my things is my sayings is who does a go-to person go to? Is because sometimes, I give out so much to so many people. And it's then when I kind of had a Superman complex. So when I need something, I'm not going to reach out to you.
Right.
Because at that point, it shows my weakness or vulnerability. And I don't like that. And so then how it appears is I have an attitude, or I'm frustrated, or I don't feel like talking. And it's really because I'm frustrated with myself because I know I need you to help me and I can't ask for it because I feel like you're going to judge me. So I kind of want to talk about exactly how that currently looks in our community, but how we can fix that. Primarily conversation or openness or the ability to just say, hey, I'm here. Like, let's have this conversation. How can we knock past that wall if there is a wall?
My thing is you just got to come out. You guys got to kind of come out of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be like they're gonna judge me, things like that. You can't worry about things like that. You got to come out yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I can't help you if you're not gonna tell me that you need that help.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can be struggling all day long with anything in life that you're struggling with, but I can talk to you, but you're not willing. I can talk to you. I can ask you what's wrong, but you're not willing to talk to me. What can I do to help you?
True.
I can't do anything. So you just got to get out your body and just like not even think about judgments and things like that. You got to think about what can I do to help me.
Right. I think that if I just go back, to my own experience, there was friends, of course, that this is the first time you've heard about it. I didn't call Cordy, which, of course, another really close friend of mine.
Hey, Cordy.
Right. So I don't know. I agree with you. There's at that moment, you can't have your pride. It can't be there because the only thing I was thinking about is I'm going to go down the list of people in my phone, in my mind, who can I call? That can get here as quickly as possible and talk to me, and just be on the phone. So that's what I did. I went down a list of people and I thought about it different ways. My sister, my mom. Then I thought, my ex, because he's the closest, to my home. So I did that. And I think you just got to, as hard as it sounds, you got to give yourself the opportunity to reach out and talk to somebody in that moment of weakness. You owe it to yourself to give someone a chance to talk to you about it, to get it out.
Before you just make any type of decision.
Mm-hmm.
This is true. This is true. I promise y'all I got a whole bunch of other stuff to talk about in my head, and I kind of want to get off this conversation. But I want to kind of shift gears in regards to mental health. I want to kind of go back to social media and how that plays a factor. The reason being is because I feel like one issue that our community, and I'm sure we all can agree, is identity issues. Sometimes a lot of people don't know who they are, or they don't know their purpose in life. And we talked about it in the episodes prior in regards to people not knowing they want to follow trends and follow what everyone else is doing. And I believe that stems from a mental health issue of searching for an identity, or you just giving up and just saying, because I don't have the tools or I don't know how to navigate to find out who I am, I'll rather replicate who you are because that's more easier for me. So do y'all recognize that is an issue in our community, or would you say that that's an issue in our community?
I think it is, and I think it goes back to the way you were brought up. I think that growing up, you can go ask my family. They're like, yeah, I always kind of knew. Either the way I walked, or wanting to hang around my female cousins all the time and do what they did and play with the toys they played with, but constantly trying to get that reinforcement of, no, that's wrong. That's wrong. So here I am as a child, creating my own identity, and going with what feels right to me inside, but I'm constantly being told no. So I think that follows you into adulthood, and you feel you're pulling away from what you feel like you should be doing because you see other people doing it and it's popular. So you're trying to go with that. So there's that complex between who you are and who you really feel you should be deep down inside, and just trying to follow the trend. Sorry.
I think you honestly got to sit back, spend some time alone with yourself, not even be all into the social media world and stuff like that, and just figure out who you are, just period. Like you have to sit back, look at yourself, and just reevaluate things in your life. I can't watch what you two do and do because that's not gonna make me happy. You know what I'm saying? I can try to be like you two, but it's not gonna make me happy. You honestly got to sit back, look at yourself, and like, okay, what can I do? What do I like to do? What makes me feel happy?
Right.
You can't be based off, oh, but this is popping and he's doing this making him happy. But no, you can do the same thing he's doing, but you're not happy doing it because it's not what's meant for you.
Right.
So you really have to sit back and just reevaluate yourself. You have to look into yourself. I ain't say date. I ain't say go kick with friends all the time. No, you got to sit back and be by yourself for a while to figure that out.
And I believe that comes with, I agree wholeheartedly. Because trust me, child, this is what this person ain't over here dating, child. And that's why I ain't dating right now. But and it's literally because, and we had this conversation yesterday. It's literally because I noticed where every relationship I had was ending the same way. Where I felt I'm giving so much to you. I'm here for you. Whatever you need, I do.
Right.
Why aren't you here for me when I need you? And every person I've spoken to or dated said the same thing. Because you don't open up to me. So how can you expect for me to know what you want if you don't tell me? And in my head, I'm like, well, you're dating me. You should just know what I need.
True, right.
And so, the reason I'm saying that is because it does. Taking that time is very crucial and knowing when it's time for you to take time. And I think that it didn't hit home for me until you and I spoke. And I would love for you to share in regards to what you chose to do for your birthday. But what he chose to do was amazing, that he recognized that, okay, I'm running on empty. I need to focus on me. That takes a lot. And for you to say either I need to separate myself, not because it's anything that you all have done, it's just because I need to find out what's going on with me. I recently started this year, maybe 2 months ago, going to therapy. And it was awkward and uncomfortable. Because I had to trust this nice Caucasian man to listen to me. And he was cute, so they really made it hard. Because I'm like, well, I don't want to.
He had blue eyes.
Yes! And he was gay too, so that was like, oh Lord, I got a chance.
You fought for the blue eyes.
Yes! But in that moment, the one thing I can always remember that he told me that has stuck with me, he asked me, he said, Antonio, trust me enough to get you through this process. And for me, that said a lot. The fact that, number one, you're partnering with me to get in this process and you're going to stick it through. And the fact that you're saying that whatever I say, basically, it's not going to run me away. Because that was an issue for me.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if I'm not doing something or if I'm not opening up to you, why you run away?
Right.
Work through that. It's my thing.
Because I don't know you, baby.
But work through it. I'm just saying, work through it.
Everybody's not like that, though, so you can't expect everybody to be like that. You got to tell. So the white guy helped you through your little process?
He's working through. It's a long process. It's middle child syndrome, body image issues. Y'all really think I be playing? Like, I really got big girl issues in my head. And, you know, I don't care how much weight I done lost, in my head, it just feels like I'm not attractive sometimes. And so dealing with that, unpacking that is a lot. You know that we went to Chicago Pride.
Oh.
And with one of my closest friends. And I literally was upset with him because you don't understand, I'm having an issue right now. And I just completely shut down. It was because every outfit, I don't care what I put on, child. Every outfit I put on was, oh girl, I look fat as heck in this. I'm not wearing this. And then it would frustrate me because it was like, no push past it. I'm like, well, girl, you about size 2. You can say that. I can't. But back to what you said, it was after, I think, when I got back, we had a whole conversation. I told him, hey, depression is real. Let me tell you why I was really upset. And then after having that conversation, it was good. But yeah, to answer your question, it's a work in progress. It's a lot unpacking.
Hey, I don't think you're ever finished working on your mental health. I think it's an ongoing.
I feel sexy all the time, though. Like, all the time.
Well, for us,
I mean, my God, you don't have it all the time.
I don't think you ever have. You're at
When I look at mess
100%.
like this, yeah, I still look good, don't I? You wanna eat it? It's a snack. You know?
But that comes from a level of confidence that everyone does not have. And so I think that we have to remove assumptions from our community too, where because to you think that person is attractive, and you expect that they're so happy all the time. Like Nigel just shared something about him, and people get on my nerves. Oh, your friend's so fine. Oh, your friend's so cute. But looking at this, no one would ever know. And this coming from a friend, I wouldn't even know. So again, we have to remove assumptions from our community that we assume because Instagram shows this, your life is the bee's knees, and it's not.
And then when you're not saying certain things too, hurt people hurt people. True. That's like a real statement. You might think you're not hurting somebody's feelings just because you're not doing some of the things that they're doing, but your actions and some things you say or the way you act towards a person, the way you shut down towards a person, that hurts people's feelings too.
Let's talk about that. About saying some things that you shouldn't say. I want to talk to all my Jack people.
Because I'm disrespectful.
And
So
my grinder people real quick. I've been holding on to this, and this is what I want to talk about. This is going to be a little, I feel like it'll be a little lighter.
Jack, what's that?
The red and white app that you got on your phone.
He know what Jack is.
What phone?
But Jack and Grinder, I want to talk to y'all about this real quick. You know what really bothers me is a simple saying, and I feel like y'all probably didn't seen it before. If it's on y'all profile, you better delete it after today, okay? If you got one. No fats, no films need to be just taken out. Take that dumb shit off of y'all profiles. That is so ignorant. It is so disrespectful. When you got a preference, fine. Say when somebody introduces themselves to you, you don't even have to tell me I'm not attractive to you.
See, in my mind, you just gotta build a thicker skin. Cause you say no fats, no films. That's what you don't prefer. You know, I can't.
So
get mad
Why
at
does
you
it
what
need
you
to be
don't
stated
prefer.
though?
So
Because just like you might say on your thing, I don't want nothing.
If I have my phone, I read to you what my Jack thing say. It's so nice to everybody. It's so
But I
nice
do
to
think
me.
it's mean.
So I think that when you're looking, you attract what you project.
It's true.
So if you post a nude or ass picture on there, then you're gonna get people that's wanting for sorry, if you post a body picture.
No, the body piece.
Right, the little thing, then you're gonna get individuals who they're gonna assume, this is what you on here for. You know, so
you can post you can post a picture of just your hair. You gonna get a body
so
picture.
when I had the app, I never said what I didn't want. You know, I never said don't hit me up with a nude, don't hit me up, don't do that. I never said what I didn't want you to do. I just stated, I was, as Antonio said, my profile is very positive. If you hit me up and you sent the nude, I just wasn't going to reply. I don't have to spew venom back at you because I just don't want that in my life. I'm not on here looking for that. So you don't have to say what you're not looking for. You can get on and say what you're looking for. That's okay. I'm looking for friends and whatever. Just be positive.
They ain't
about
looking for no fast, no film. So you just, this is.
But here's the thing, and I get that.
They is simply
So,
looking
so
for,
if fat or femme hits you up, just don't
Just
reply.
don't
But
reply.
that's the thing. Your mentality of positive is not the next person's mentality of positive. You know what I'm saying? You just cannot say this is where they're at mentally. So you cannot get mad at a person where they are.
And I hear that, and I can accept that. However, why choose to use derogatory statements to simply say that I don't want to talk to you?
Because they're looking for sex, baby. So they want the right people to
Okay,
keep
well,
up.
everybody that's on there is not looking for sex.
Yes,
so
everybody not
my
looking for
thing
sex.
is,
But 9 out of 10, you tell no face, no films. You know what you're trying to do.
okay, but here's my thing. Everybody that we can all agree to this. Everybody that say no fats, no films.
It's them.
They don't really mean it honey, when they get late at night.
And then when you see them in
They don't
person,
care.
you got more Fenty on than me.
Right.
I'm
What
confused.
kills me, the people that be saying no fats, no film.
That's
Either
what's on
fat or filming. But how you gonna have XP? How you gonna tell me not to be something but you are that? That's retarded. Right. That's what I don't get out of that.
Right.
Or they secretly mess with us on the low.
Yeah, or want to sneak and geek and not tell you.
And that be the case.
So how y'all know?
Huh?
How you know this thinking,
I
man?
bet somebody
Because
looking
there's a whole bunch of people that got no fast, no films in their thing, and they hit me up.
Oh.
And after we did what we did, I had that conversation.
What you do?
So see, I'm an old school bottom, honey. So
okay, what
I bottomed out.
Period.
Bottoms up.
Okay, yes.
Did you grapefruit?
I don't grapefruit, honey. I don't know what that is, honey. That's that new wave stuff.
Grapefruit.
No, ma'am, we don't do that. But after we did what we did, it was a conversation. However, it was one friend that we share in common who asked me this question, and it was so deep when she asked me the question. She said, well, Antonio, if you don't agree with something, why would you lay down with him?
Period.
if he said something that does not support you or degrades you, why would you further the disrespect by laying down with him? You're laying down with someone who will never have the capacity to appreciate you. So I'm just saying, look, we can talk about this all day long. This is to that person, the person that got no fats, no films. Take it off. You better take it off. If you watch this show and if you've got in your favorite things about Candid Culture is your favorite show, and if I scroll up a little bit more and they say no fats, no films, you are not a fan of mine, all right? Oh, you may be a fan of his though.
You can say whatever you want to say, baby. Say whatever. If you want to say no fats, no films, say that. If you want a big, you know what, say that. If you want a fat, you know what, you better say that. Say what you want, baby. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
So listen, it's been a really, really great time. I appreciate both Nigel as well as my baby over here assisting me again on this episode. It's been fun. Tune in again for our next episode, which we'll be having a conversation about the church. You know, the church queens, girl. We're having a conversation. So call Bishop James, call Prophetess Whitney to bind them. Call all of them, girl, and tell them to come to Candid Culture. We look forward to seeing y'all again. Love you. Bye. Hey loves, this is Antonio, the host, with the most, honey, from Candid Culture. Listen, please like, comment, and subscribe. I want to hear everything that you got to say because I love you and I want to hear all the shady comments and tell me how beat I am. Listen, like, comment, subscribe, share, put it on every social media. Thank you, love you, bye.
Period, one day.